Hello, thank you so much for the sort of erudite comments uh, that you leave. And qetoun has left a comment here saying that I'm now trying to find it. Here we are. The polls are garbage, Tim. Several of main pollsters class reform as other, and of course that gives quite a skewed result. The problem really with polling is you've got about four major problems. There I am talking about the tricolon and putting everything in threes, and I'm now suggesting there's four. First of all, there's sampling bias, which is where it's sometimes difficult to get a decent representation of the people that you're looking at, the population. Younger voters as opposed to people from different socioeconomic backgrounds who may be harder to reach, may be underrepresented in polls as a result, and this can skew the poll reading and lead to quite inaccurate distortions about the potential preferences of the electorate. The second one is is response bias. People don't always give truthful answers. It's a sort of white coat syndrome of the pollsters. For various reasons, people may think social desirability, not being wished to be seen inappropriate, maybe being overheard. They give answers which they think are more socially acceptable, or simply because they don't want to disclose their true voting intentions, or maybe they just want to distort things. Maybe they just want to be bloody-minded. Maybe they are bloody-minded. The third thing is the problem of the pollsters themselves. Their wording is not always. There are too many negatives, too many double negatives in polling questions. So the way questions are phrased and the order in which they're presented can influence the way that people who are polled respond. And the fourth one, and the fourth one is the predictions of how many people are actually going to turn out to vote. And the pollsters assume there's going to be a sort of full turnout, which I think there's not. I think what we're going to find out in this coming general election is a huge swathe of ex-conservatives or conservative voters simply do not turn out, and that is going to queer the election results significantly. There's also the possibility of late swings in the final days of the general election campaign, and we're only at the foothills of that general election campaign even now. Reform voters, particularly those supporting more controversial or less mainstream parties, like the George Galloway Party on the one hand, on the left, I should do it with this hand, on the left, or the Reform Party on the right, or others, may pretend to support other rather than to be specific, again because of their social anxieties, because they don't want to disclose publicly what their party preference might be, because they don't want to be seen as extreme or outside the mainstream, because of a fear of judgment or discussion. There's also the element of strategic voting, which becomes more of an issue as time goes on. So although people may say this is my real position, but in my particular constituency, I intend to vote strategically, and they may withhold their true preferences in polling to influence the perception of electoral viability, or to avoid revealing their tactical voting intention. So actually they are tactically voting even in the polling options. There's also a general distrust of pollsters. Some voters may feel that these people are sort of like ambulance chasers in their use of data. They don't want to be a part. Oh, I don't want. Oh, don't. Is that data? I don't want to get infected with a computer virus. Oh, keep it away! Keep it away! No, are you a pollster? Yes, I am. What? Oh, don't come in. Are you wearing a mask? And all this sort of nonsense. So there are many reasons why I think qetoun's point is very, very valid and very interesting. Are the polls garbage? Yes. But there's a lot we can learn from garbage. And I have friends who have who've dedicated their academic lives to studying the waste left behind at Hadrian's Wall, and I think that's so interesting. The history that can be uncovered by raiding the remains of Roman toilets, the fecal fallacies. You can learn by going through people's dustbins. You know, that old detective fiction thing. Go through people's dustbins to find out who they really are. So the fact that the polls are garbage is quite true, qetoun. But garbage, you shouldn't underestimate garbage. You shouldn't, in just the same way as you shouldn't underestimate the ephemeral, the incidental, the unimportant, because it's the unimportant things on which history turns. History isn't made by important people, really. History is made by the chance workings of coincidence and oddness and accident. And great people take control of history, but history is made in the ephemeral, in the unimportant. And in a way, it's this is shown up so beautifully in the story of the Prime Minister on D-Day, because that in itself was almost an unimportant moment for him. And that thoughtless moment, the history books will say, that will be the decisive moment. That was his Gillian Duffy moment. That was his Kinnock falling in the waves moment. These almost incidental, almost ephemeral moments that absolutely, this is where we are. So polling, yeah, but it's not absolutely useless. Don't equate garbage with useless. Garbage is useful.